This week in the podcast, we're joined by Alex from the Mimicsville and talking all things Donkey Kong Bananza and asking if this is a new Mario 64 moment for the next generation of gamers. Also, with the movie arriving, we're naming our own gaming Fantastic Four with the games that define us. Expect chaos, heroics, and some very spicy takes. And finally, on this week's Pixel Picks Showdown, second time is a charm as we name the best remake game. All this and more on this week's Pixel Parents podcast. Hello and welcome to the next episode of the Pixel Parents podcast, the show that discusses all things gaming from the perspective of parents. I am your host Liam Kirkkelvin, and today I'm of course joined by the bearded one, Scott, the tastemaker Curry. How are we, Scott?
That is indeed myself, the shiny one, proclaimed from the heavens. I'm very well actually. I have limitless energy, so it's bound to be a fun show, you know.
That makes a change, and of course. It's a big change. Of course, for anybody watching and as well, I suppose, listening, they'll be asking, who's that other handsome chap in the corner there? And of course, we are delighted to say that we are joined again by a dear friend, Alex, formerly known as the Virtual One, but I think we're going to go with the Veiled One, as he is co-host of the Mimicsville podcast. How are we, Alex?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me back. But yeah, I think I'd be a bit of a fraud if I kept going with the Virtual One. I couldn't tell you the last time a virtual reality headset donned this dome. But yeah, thanks. Nice to be back. It's been a wee while. I mean, I've met Scott in person in that time.
I know it's strange. It's a bit weird when you see someone that you've never seen but only seen them online. You're like, and then also stressed, like you're running to the swimming to try and catch up with my daughter and stuff. It was chaos, but it was good to see you.
I know, he stood there saying I'm the hottest man on earth and I pray for rain, and then it rained for about 3 days. Spoiled the holiday.
What can I say? The rainmaker.
What you like, standing in all the rain beetles. To be fair, it was atrociously warm.
It was.
I do have when you mention rain beetles, I do have those thoughts, like if I see them on a summer's day, I'm like, I'm going to stand on you because like it's fucking roasting. It's like I just need this to end. Like, so stupid.
I know, but like, maybe next time I can be there in person, and maybe next time there might be some pints involved. Who knows? We'll manifest that along with some rain. That's the way to do it.
A little less heat.
Aye, just a wee tad. It's actually at the point now, I think I was walking about the house and I said to my wife, I was like, I'm fucking sick of this now. This just has to stop. As if like, I feel like the dog when he kind of looks at you like, can you turn this down please, mate? But yeah, it's end is almost in sight, but good news is there's been plenty of games to play whilst we're stifling in said heat. Plenty of very, very good games, some of which we're going to be talking about today, and we can have a little bit of fun as well because we've got quite an interesting zany main topic lined up for you this week. But before we get into it, I suppose we should get some housekeeping out the road and get in about it, I suppose. So for those listening, this is the Pixel Parents podcast, the weekly podcast by parents who game. For those who do the same, where each week we discuss all things gaming whilst raising little ones. Now every Friday you can listen and see your old dad's top video games on YouTube, Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so please subscribe to us on YouTube if you're not there already so you don't miss our mugs. And if you want to be part of the podcast, come say hello and share your thoughts with us at pixelparents.bsky.social on Blue Sky, or write to us at pixelparentspodcast@gmail.com. And if you like what you hear and you want to support the show, you can leave a 5-star review and share this podcast online with your friends. That really does help us out. And of course, thank you to everybody that joins us each and every week. So with that out the way, Scott, Alex, I think we'll start with you. What have you been playing this week?
Largely, I think the main thing I've been playing is something we might talk about a wee bit later, is Donkey Kong Bananza, and I'm not going to say too much about that yet because it's worth the wait for that one. It's so
teasing.
But before I get to that, what I've been playing quite a bit of, and probably say I'm borderline addicted to again, is Deep Rock Galactic Survivor.
Right, okay.
I have played, I think, potentially now about 30 hours in the last week just of that.
That's outrageous.
whether that's on the Steam Deck, on the PC, during lunch hours, whenever I can literally get my hands on it, I'm just like, right, another run. I need to get this, I need to get that. Right, okay, we'll go and master this bit. Oh, we'll do that. And it's like, for anyone that doesn't know, it's basically Survivor's like game akin to Vampire Survivors, but structured very differently, is where you're basically going on a dive in the Deep Rock Galactic universe, and you have to go and balance up how you extract different minerals, how you take on the enemies in each dive, depending on the bit. They've added a lot now, but the kind of core structure when it started was each dive was like 5 rounds. You had to survive to the boss in the 5 rounds and get back to the escape pod before the time ran out, and collect. Let's get that whole madness of the XP collection, the weapons leveling up, the bullet having stuff, and it's just incredibly addictive.
So you've not been streaming it as well?
I've been streaming it a little bit on TikTok.
So I saw you doing that the other day.
It's just, I'm just messing about, to be honest. It's not something I really do. I'm going to try this. Just, why not? I'm sitting here playing it anyway.
I mean, that's the thing, innit? There's people on there making money pretending that they're playing Minecraft, you know what I mean? So might as well get in there.
Aye.
I do that every day for free. Still don't know how to work that game.
No, me neither.
I just don't get it. I spent, in fact, you'll enjoy this one, Alex. I spent today just, my son got like a Minecraft magazine, and it came with like a little Minecraft Lego, and I was sitting there just trying to build this, but of course he had like opened it in the car and was missing like 3 tiny but crucial pieces, so I kind of cobbled together something that looked like a skeleton and a spider. Best I could do. Sorry, son.
I saw him a few weeks ago from his great aunt or something, got these Minecraft magnetic cubes.
Mm-hmm.
And they're actually, so the 3 of us have at times just been lying on the floor building shit with these Minecraft cubes, and they're so, you're like, oh, this is great. I'm like, no idea what Minecraft is, but I could just sit here and build all this forever. Great fun.
I'll need to check
better than the game.
Oh, yeah.
We actually watched the movie the other week,
and
it's an unbelievably incoherent movie, but it is ridiculously enjoyable. Like, I never expected to be sitting here as a 33-year-old man saying, you know what, the Minecraft movie has legs, but the Minecraft movie has legs. And those legs are primarily Jack Black and Jason Momoa, but
Yeah.
good grief, man. What a film.
yeah,
I took the wee man to the cinema to see it, and he really, actually, I think I ended up enjoying it more than he did. It was something that really wanted to go and see it, and then he wasn't that bothered about it. I'm like, it really wasn't as bad as people made out.
No, it wasn't at all. I've seen it a good few times, I'll admit, but it's the soundtrack that my son has on all the time, and it's a bit of a ritual when he comes home in the car from nursery. He has to put it on the car on mum's phone, and it's just that Steve's Lava Chicken, but he knows all the words to, like, there's a big rock song at the end and at the start, and he knows it word for word because he's listened to it that many times. But it is very catchy, I can't even deny it. But yeah, it's a solid family film, 6 out of 10 I'd say, you know. And I finally kind of get Jason Momoa, like, I kind of get what the talents. Obviously he's a very talented man looks wise, but I just never really got the whole acting shtick. But I'm like, no, there's some funny under there, kind of like a more rugged Chris Hemsworth type vibe. That's probably what I'd go for in terms of the humour and acting vibe.
Yeah.
Poor Chris Hemsworth.
I know, Chris Hemsworth. That's a shout on Chris.
He ain't winning no
The
Oscars,
Hemsworth
man.
fans are going to be raging.
Nah, he ain't winning no Oscars. He's barely back as Thor. But yeah, no, it's pretty decent. But I know, Alex, this isn't a plug, right? But we know, like, on TikTok and stuff, you mentioned that you're streaming some games. You are quite the, what'd you call it? Quite the enjoyer of the indie game, and it's a good chance to kind of tell our listeners if there's any decent ones they should be having their eyes on that you've been playing recently.
I mean, in terms of recently, one I've played in the last few days, actually, that I've only played maybe a couple of hours of, it's called Antro. And it's almost cyberpunky in terms of how it sets out visually, but it's in this underground world, and I don't quite know what the game is. It's like half stealth, half music. So the stealth bits, you're just kind of avoiding getting little bits of story going through. It's like a good delivery game, like not like that shite Death Stranding one or something like.
Oh God!
But like it's. But you then have these music levels, which almost like a song hits in and tunes into. It's almost an endless runner, and it's like quick time events as you're going. You need to jump or you need to hit, but you're just playing through the track, and it's quite a nice little mix of indie. Like, I'm trying to think of other indie games recently that I've played, and there are a lot. Like 1,000 Times Resist, I finally got round to playing a couple of weeks ago, and the story in that's incredible. Like, I knew a lot of people talked about it last year when it came out, and I'm not really that kind of visual novel type person generally, but it just hooked me from start to finish, and it was just so well told, and enough gameplay in there to make it feel that it wasn't just purely a visual novel. There was enough stuff that you were doing as you were going. Highly recommend that. And you've put me on the spot now. I'll need to come back and see if anything else comes to my head. Like,
that's fine. Well, you touched on another game there, and it'll bring me over to you, Scott. What have you been playing this week?
Still taken aback by that. It's only a baby, you know what I mean? It's only a baby, Alex. I mean, I think it goes without saying that I've been playing Death Stranding 2 this week. Probably about 30 hours this week as well, to be honest with you. Or what it feels like, because I've literally not stopped playing this bloody game. And I was saying last week I was getting a wee bit fatigued by it. The fact that, you know, I felt like I was making no progress, and kind of the piecemealing of a whole like system, trying to get to 5 stars and stuff is just a bit of a pain in the arse. And then a minute later, the minute we finished here, 1 minute after that, everything just got thrown all up in the air, and I'm back, and I'm hooked, and it's disgusting, Liam. Like, it's ridiculous, like how 10 minutes of driving a truck across acrid desert is somehow, you know, making my top 10 of this year. Do you know what I mean? Like top 5 for this year. It's outrageous how good it is. And the music, I've never I enjoyed the music in the first one, but it's the music now, it's just gone up another level. Like, I've gone into this different area of Australia now, and it's taken itself another step. It's ridiculous, man. I feel like I am the only person alive, and I know this is untrue, but I feel like I am the only person alive that is building roads and is fixing the monorail. I feel like it's only me that's doing it. Even last night, I mean, I made no deliveries, but what I was doing is I was travelling back on the DHV Magellan, going back to Mexico and getting all the different materials that they have, so the metals, the ceramics, all the special alloys and resins, and loading them on the DHV Magellan, so that when I land in a certain place, I can just go and build the roads, and then I can go and deliver everything. I've now unlocked zip lines. Incredible stuff. And I know a lot of the reviewers were saying that it takes a lot of the stuff that Death Stranding 1 had done and just makes it better, and I can see it now. I wasn't seeing it, 40 hours in, but now that I'm 50, 60 hours into this game, it's like, yeah, it's really taken that jump. And how many games can you say that you have to play it for 60 hours before it gets good? I just can't. I can't put it down, and it's killing me because I want to play more things. Yeah. But every single time I see it on my PlayStation, I'm like, I just have to do this now. So the Platinum run is on, ladies and gentlemen, and
it's committed.
I was already committed. Let's be honest. Even if the game was shite, I'd have platinumed it. But I just can't go over it, man. And the story, fucking hell, the story, the characters. Like I've now met Tomorrow, so Elle Fanning is now a big part of my team, and it's every single interaction between all these characters and the nonsense that they talk about. It's like, oh yeah, I guess Dooms and BTs and stuff really does make sense. Actually, the Death Stranding and everything is quite. It is amazing how they just say things and expect you to understand it, and it's like, yeah, okay. It's like I am following. But yeah, I'm back on the hype train for this game, and Hideo Kojima could literally shit into his hands and clap, and I would celebrate it. So,
So just a tad biased then.
yeah, I mean, it's a wee bit of bias there, but it's I mean, I'm in love with this stupid game, and I expect to still be next week when we record as well. So hold on for that one.
Right, as long as you're having a good time, that's the main thing. I've not had a chance to play much of it this week. Just for same reason as Alex, there's been a lot of Donkey Kong in my life, which we'll come on to, but I'm teasing now as well. But I think this week I had went to go to the cinema again. I went to go see Superman again I took my son this time, and it did make me think of Death Stranding, oddly, just because there was a lot of kind of death by exposition, and these are two things that I really enjoy. I really enjoyed the Superman film, and same with Death Stranding 2. Just like every now and then you just kind of get like a big exposition dump out of nowhere, and I'm not going to spoil what happens in the film at all, but it's just these little moments where it's just like explaining everything to contextualise it up to that point so that you understand it in the moment. I'm like, yeah, James Gunn and Hideo Kojima, there'd be a collaboration.
Fucking hell.
I mean, lots of feet and wide angle lenses, that's all you need.
It's like me in photo mode.
Oh, Christ almighty. Derailed already.
I've just actually realised what I've said there.
You've
it's,
outed yourself
it's
there.
like me on photo mode. Aye, it's disgusting. But I'm excited to hear all the bonanza of Bananza. You know, I'm excited to go into it because I could leave for half an hour and come back and have gained nothing. So,
Well,
tell the viewers, tell us everyone about the donkiest
idea
of Kongs.
The idea here was, and Alex, you won't be privy to this, is that Scott was supposed to ask you and I some questions about Donkey Kong Bananza, so he did feel a wee bit included. But I'm guessing that Scott hasn't prepared any questions to ask.
I'm not going to lie, right? I haven't actually prepared any questions to ask, but it's not because I didn't want to ask questions. I may ask some questions, but what I actually want to hear is just unabashed thoughts on this game. Like,
Yeah.
I'll because I have no thoughts on it, and obviously because I've not played it. Other than, you know, he's an ugly bastard now. But I just want you to, you know, tell us more.
Who doesn't want a blue and white stripe Donkey Kong?
The colours of Donkey Kong do not matter. It could be all the colours of the rainbow for all I care.
A lovely nice tie.
It's his face. He was beautiful before. You ruined him.
Nah, I think like the style here, the style, Scott, is what's been missing from his oddly smooth face up until now. And Alex, as you've touched on, you can accessorise, and my God, DK looks good. He does look damn good, and it's any way you want, and it gets wacky. I mean, Alex, what's your DK looking like?
Well, see, I'm still not actually that far on that I've gotten too wacky yet, because I think I've very much been taking my time. I've actually got 2 games on the go. I've got my game on the go, and I've got the game of the wee one on the go, because he's like,
yes.
I want to play it. And I'm like, well, you're not playing my game. You play your own game. And then he was ahead of me, and then he was behind. But so I think I'm only I've done 2 main bosses, so I'm not too far through. But I think he's red, no clothes, a nice yellow tie, and Pauline's got a wee kind of nautically outfit. Yeah, she's looking good.
She's got some
doing a wee
pipes.
dance, and they're just so cute together, and it's like just so charming. And I'm like, oh, I love this.
It's amazing, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
Mine, you've described exactly the situation that I'm in, and I feel like I'm in good company now, because it's like it's one of those ones where it has been so frustrating over the weekend, because all I've heard is, Dad, can I play Donkey Kong Bananza at countless times, to the point where I'm like, please, can we talk about something else? We went out for dinner on Sunday, and he was just talking about Donkey Kong Bananza. If he's not playing it, he's trying to get somebody's phone to watch videos about it. And same thing, he was ahead of me, and I had that kind of little moment of, hold on a minute, I can't be having this. Like, I had to pure grind that night to put myself ahead of it, because he started telling me stuff that was happening in the game, which I couldn't be having. But mine's is, I've went for the pink zebra type jeans, and with a bandana to go along with it, and Paulie's got the same outfit. As for my son, his Donkey Kong's got the pink fur and it's some type of blue trousers as well, and he's got an outfit that I didn't know I could get for Pauline. So I'm like, okay. got to go back and grind for that. But yeah, ooze and charm and style, Scott, and style. I actually prefer this DK, looks wise.
So right. Looks aside, what is the top level? What is Donkey Kong Bonanza? Like, what am I doing if I buy it today? What am I to expect?
It's a vertical Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah.
Like, it's the adventure rather than the 3D platformer. It's an adventure game, but it's ultimately Mario Odyssey at heart. But you're breaking the world apart rather than exploring it. Well, you're exploring it by breaking it apart rather than just exploring it, and it's less about platforming and more about exploration.
Yeah.
And it's almost more to that extent. It's like DK's Breath of the Wild to a certain extent.
Yeah, it's got that
a lot of
DNA
climbing, a lot of big towers, and it's just pure joy. And all you will go is banana all the time, and you'll be running around going banana, and it's just so much to find, so much to explore. Your levels are all in layers, so you've got each layer is like a world, and you've got sub layers within that world, so like different bits of it, and you can either do the main task within the world to get to the boss and get down to the next layer, or you can basically just explore and do all the side bits and things that you don't even realise are there to do. You'll find chests that'll point you to fossils, that'll point you to bananas, that'll point you to chips. You spend your chips to get all your outfits. You'll find little houses to rest in, and you can find records to play in the houses, and it's layers upon layers upon layers, pardon the pun. Like, there's just so much to it, and it's just delightful. It really is.
The delightful is the key word. I mean, to sum it up for me, because I think to add on to what Alex expertly wrapped it up as, I think, but ahead of release, I remember saying on Blue Sky, like, it looks like the Incredible Hulk game that we deserve. And really, if you were to take Hulk Ultimate Destruction, Super Mario Odyssey, and Wreck-It Ralph and kind of merge them all together, you've kind of got Donkey Kong Bonanza at the heart of it, and it's so charming. Like, this, I would, I think at the Switch 2 launch, Mario Kart World was, fantastic. A really, really good game, but it is ultimately just another Mario Kart. Like, if you played 8, you've kind of did that. It's just got a little bit more sweaty tricks on there. But this is the one, and after playing it, I'm like, if you've been teetering on a Switch 2, run out, buy this game. You will have so much fun. Like, this is genuinely a Game of the Year candidate, but it could be an all-timer if it keeps up this pace of what I've kind of been playing. From a Nintendo perspective, it is just pure happiness, and the way that the kids see it as well, kids and big kids such as ourselves, it is just so much fun. Like, you're grinning ear to ear, and I don't think it translated particularly well in the YouTube kind of directs and all that beforehand. Like, are you just smashing things? But there is something so Moorish about it. And yeah, Scott, you would absolutely love this game, man. Like, I would challenge anybody to play it and not come away impressed. That's really to sum it up for me.
You never ever expected the destruction to be satisfying. I think I almost thought it would be more of a gimmick, and you're like, right, okay. But it's that way. You start it, and you're like, all right, okay, I can see something there, and I know I need to get it. And it's that challenge of, how do I get that? What do I need to destruct? How do I need to create that path to get into that banana? Or, like, in terms of a lot of the side levels, you will discover these side levels as you go through, and some of them are just like combat levels. Some of them is basically like almost like a shrine. So it's like you'll have 3 bananas in there, and you'll see an obvious path to getting one, and then the other 2 will maybe be a wee bit more, you'll maybe not realise they're there at all, or it's just problem solving to get through and how you get them all, and it's just so clever.
Yeah, it really is.
So is this is obviously the coming out for Donkey Kong, right? This is like, his big moment. How do they? It's tough because you both haven't finished it. I'm assuming, very early on. So, like, the gameplay is going to be the gameplay and it's going to be good. Like, how is it working with this story for now? Like with Super Mario Odyssey, it was obviously, Super Mario, everything was exactly the same. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to be a massive difference apart from Bowser's wearing an absolutely excellent suit at the end. But it's how does it stick? How does it start in terms of the kind of the story for it? Do you know what I mean? Like, is there a proper story there? Is there a hook to it? Do you know what I mean?
Alex, if you want to, I mean, I'm happy to go, but you
No,
are
you go.
guesting too.
You go. I've talked a lot.
I think, it does. It's a very simple premise. Like I said, this is a game that's going to be for all the family, but obviously you want to make sure the kids can understand it as well. You're basically there in Ignore Island, and you've got the baddies turn up, and you're pushed into the layers further into the planet itself. You're going inward, and instead of kind of climbing your way out, you'll then be challenged to make your way further down to almost effectively escape. You have obviously Pauline spoiled in the pre-game trailers and direct beforehand. I think that was a bit of a, that would have been so cool if you just thought it was this little purple rock in which you initially find her, like this little cocoon, I suppose, like this kind of meteorite that she is at first. And it does take about a couple of hours or an hour or so to kind of get to her. It would have been a cool little surprise, but you're effectively just like standard Nintendo. There's a group of bad guys, and you're the hero, and you've basically got there to take them out. It's that tale of as old as time. How that ends up, I'm not sure. I've got my suspicions in terms of where things may land, but I won't aid it just in case I kind of expose my full arse. But it would be cool if it does. But it's very charming, and what they've done is, I think that I'm really pleased about, is that they are kind of almost resetting. I would hate to use the word reboot, but they're kind of resetting who Donkey Kong is, in a little sense. It's still very much true to the character, but they're just adding, to quote yourself, Alex, adding a few more layers onto that. And I said Wreck-It Ralph earlier because that was the first thing that springs to mind, because it does kind of have that type of, big oaf and sweet person, type of adventure, Monsters Inc. type vibe to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, he is just like insanely strong, insanely goofy and hilarious. There's a lot of the kind of comedy angles that come out in it as well, just with how daft he is for bananas still. And you might have one or two people from the past popping up. Then I think they lean into the nostalgia elements just enough that it is inherently very much a Donkey Kong game. And they do that either through gameplay, through sight, through sound. They do it very, very well and very subtly, but it has very much its own identity. And I agree with you, Alex. You mentioned Breath of the Wild, in the same way that Zelda, that series always kind of just does enough to kind of tweak things and reintroduce it along the path, whether it is like Wind Waker or Breath of the Wild itself. But it's still inherently Zelda, but they do just enough just to make it feel like its own special type of Zelda tale. And I'm so happy for Donkey Kong, the big ape. There's the fact that he's finally getting the treatment that he deserves.
Yeah.
This is like you said, it's a procession. This, I can't believe just how good it is, and I'm just totally in awe of it, to be honest with you.
No, I completely agree. The one thing I would say is almost the one. No, it's not a gripe. At times it feels too easy, but it's supposed to be. Like, I don't think the challenge in this game is ever supposed to be in the combat. I think it's supposed to be around that exploration side of it. And I think once you accept that, it's fine. And then once you get all the different start, I've only had one transformation just now. I've not got to the transformations and stuff. Really, then mix it all up again, and like it's just, I'm just wanting to throw superlatives at it, but like I'm being a bit over the top here. But yeah,
It's true though. There isn't enough that we can throw at it. But yeah, you touched on it. The transformations, like they're just more tools in your arsenal to overcome what's in front of you. It's that classic Nintendo secret sauce. Very much like you've seen in other classic games like this, Mario, Zelda as well. But it works well with DK. And it's goofy, and the music goes absolutely, all anime is all hell, and Pauline starts going off her nut as well. It's fantastic. The only thing I've not tried is the co-op, because I did kind of put that forward to the wee man, thinking, why don't you go poly and I'll control D. It didn't happen. It just didn't fly. It's like, nope, I want to play it myself. Like, fair enough.
It's you actually mentioned something there, Liam, that it's pretty pertinent to our last few weeks in terms of episodes of the show where we had Grant Kirkhope on and talking about music for this game.
You were the casual plug.
What can I say? What can I say? Not be honest, this isn't my first rodeo. But how is the music for this game? Like, obviously, I can remember pretty much every single song from Mario Odyssey. Donkey Kong's past. But how does the music fit? Do you know what I mean? Like, is it going to be one of those soundtracks that in a few years' time we're like, oh my god?
I don't think so. I think it's good, but I wouldn't say it's great. I think a lot of the old music is kind of woven in there, but I wouldn't say it stands out as much as the rest of it. It's good. It's definitely good, but it's not like you're not humming it the next day, or it's not that get those kind of same earworms in it.
Yeah.
But it's still good.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. It's not to say it's bad. I think the general sound design is probably the star of the show. Like Alice had talked about, Banana, you will literally be just going about, and then things like when you get a skill point, when you get every 5 bananas, you earn a skill point, and it's the way it just totally seamlessly just bursts into the screen. And it's those little moments that are kind of the dopamine hits, as opposed to like a incredible score. Like, it's not as good as like the Mario Odyssey score, for example. But that being said, I think out of all the places I've been in, there's only been really one standout theme for me, and it's very minimalist. And it's just because it is like it almost takes you aback as to how kind of chill it is compared to all the chaos that you've been hearing up to that point. But what to say, it's a good, it's a solid soundtrack for it, but I think, they pay homage where they have to, and that probably will stand out. So you won't be disappointed in that regard, I would say.
Mm-hmm. And you've both obviously spoken a lot about destruction being the sort of key factor in this game, and Liam had said in the lead up to the game coming out, there was a lot of concern for people being like, you can destroy things, but what else? Do you know what I mean? Like, is this just going to be destruction and that's it? If I buy it, am I just going to be doing that? Am I going to get bored of doing that? Like, does it change? Or is it just a case of you just batter everything and find loads of stuff?
I mean, there's a bit of, as well as battering, there's building. So, like, depending on the different terrains. So if it's like mud, you can then start to build things with the mud by throwing it, or you can do your surfing on top of them. So, like, you lift it and then you surf through it. And it's, you're going to be doing a lot of destruction, and I obviously can't talk about the later game. I don't know how that evolves, but you're not just doing destruction because there is basically a goal to what you're doing in the level as well. Like, you'll maybe be doing destruction to try and find the secrets, but you can still just go and try and reverse and use the destruction to get from A to B. But the same, it doesn't feel like then that's all you're doing. It just feels like a part of the game that you're playing. So I expected that, as I was kind of saying earlier, I expected that probably to get a bit old quickly and not to be as satisfying, but I think it's just so well integrated into it that it works. And you also don't know how much destruction is there. So you'll get to a point and you'll hit a base that you can't go through, or you go, and then it's a bit like, it's known kind of where it's more about scoping out and starting to recognise, like, look, there's a little crack over there, I'm going to go and attack that bit, or rather than just going willy-nilly, like, I'm just going right through it all. But in the map, it tells you, like, on each layer how much of each type of terrain you've destructed and a percentage as well. So you've then also got that, because you're like, I've not quite got through as much of that on that one, so I need to go and bash some more of that as well. And it's the whole other side of it. So
you're bang on, man. Like, I think it's when you're there's something constantly behind it. It's sort of, if I compare this to like Minecraft, right, a game that I will never understand. I remember one of the first times my son played it, all he did was destroy down until he fell through the world. and you're not going to get that here. Just like Alex had said, there is a limit to how much you can do. It's a damn lot, but there is a limit. So it's very tight and it's very, very curated. The way I would describe this to you, Scott, right? You like Ben and Jerry's, don't you? Like Ben and Jerry's ice cream. Now, imagine the best like tub of cookie dough or brownie ice cream, whatever, and you're just digging with the spoon, and it's just chock full of the good stuff, like the good like kind of toppings and all that swirled in. You ain't getting bored of that, and that's the only way I could kind of describe this, is that you're just going to keep going back for another scoop, like constantly, like because there's something there. Could be gold, could be a chest, could be some type of challenge or a banana. You know, the best thing, you get yourself quickly into the loop of it. And even something as mundane as like gold. Gold is in abundance in the game. It's one of the forms of currency, and you will not get bored of it. You see something, you see a little mine of it. The thrill's always there. It's like, oh, I've just hit a good bit. Again, like the Ben and Jerry's, I've hit a good bit of caramel here. Fantastic. Let's get the spinning about it. So, probably the best analogy I could use to kind of describe the sensation for it.
I suppose the one difference is you're not as disappointed when you get to the bottom, whereas when you get to the bottom of a tub of ice cream, you're gutted because it's
That's
finished.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. Always happens.
It's funny the way to sell me on things is describing it as food. Like now I understand that Donkey Kong Bananza is the cookie dough ice cream of the games world. It's incredible.
Yep,
It's
slap that in the
incredible.
case.
Yeah, Scott Curry said it. This might seem like a really stupid question, right? And it seems like this because it is a stupid question. But you destroy things, right? And the world changes as you destroy it. Does the world go back to the way it has always been afterwards?
Yeah, if you essentially like go into one of the side levels or through a portal and come back out, like everything's respawned.
Everything's
like
back again. That's quite cool.
Yeah, including the enemies and stuff, which I actually quite like, because
Yeah.
you're always then, it's not just that empty world. Or
Mm-hmm.
it's nice that it does kind of come back. And
It reverts back. That's good.
Good choice. It was a good choice because there's always something to do.
yeah,
I don't really know if there's anything else that I particularly want to know about it.
Well, I've got one for you. So,
for me.
yeah, are you enjoying it on your Switch too, Scott? Because we all know that you have one. I'm not accepting this.
I mean, you would know if I had a Switch too, because we're friends on the Switch, and you'd know if I'd played it.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
As I said before,
I played offline.
I mean, that's I'm the secret Bonanza player. I'd be first to show everyone that I've bought a Switch too. I will admit there is part of me that's like, you know, I could do it and go and play it, but I've just not got that desire yet. It's not the Donkey Kong game that I wanted. That's not to say that it won't be the Donkey Kong game that I'll enjoy. I mean, hands up, don't shoot me now. But it's one of those things where this is not the Donkey Kong game that I wanted to play. Do you know what I mean? Like, however, everyone else seems to enjoy it, so maybe I'll be the hipster here that will just hate it for absolutely no reason and never play it.
Don't ruin it for yourself, man. It's the
Nah,
Donkey
I'll
Kong
play
game you don't know you wanted.
Aye,
That's it, because it's came out of absolute nowhere.
Yeah,
And
well, I mean, there's
it's-
definitely something there with it, because everyone's so high on it. I mean, every single person online that I see on Blue Sky, or every single YouTube video that I watch, or people on Twitch, they're playing it. Do you know what I mean? So there's obviously something there, but I've no desire for it. This is, as I say, the first time FOMO hasn't hit me, and it's incredible. It's absolutely, my bank balance is, you know, pleased with me for the first time in its life. So it's nice to see.
Give it
Speak
time.
for that direct next week.
Onto the direct next week.
There
Give
will
it time. Aye, give it time.
What are they going to announce on that? Metroid Prime. Metroid Prime.
Who gives
hope
a shit
so.
about Metroid?
Oh, come on. Come on, I'm outnumbered.
Unbelievable.
There'll probably be that, and they'll probably maybe, I'd love a wee tease for Hades 2, you know, absolutely take that to the bank. And that's
What
the
about-
moment, Scott, that you cave.
I mean, I potentially will cave around then. What? Sorry to derail the Bonanza chat for a minute or two here, but we're obviously off the back of, you know, the Pokemon Presents show as well, which, you know, judging by Alex's interaction there, but was it as shite as everyone's saying it was?
Aye,
Oh, it was worse. It was painful.
dire.
I happened to be off yesterday, so I thought, I'll stick this on. Man, I wish I didn't. It was like, I want that time back. It was so bad. Like, it should have. I think it would have even made a piss poor blog, or like a skeet, whatever you want to put it out as. It was watching Pokemon ZA. I don't know how you felt, Alex, watching it, but I was like, I've never been more disinterested in a new title, and I thought it was so weirdly flat, the presentation.
It's like, oh, you can customize your character. Oh, you can meet these, and you can do this. Like, we would do that in a game for about 30 years. Like, oh, it runs much better on the Switch too. I'm like, well, it couldn't run much worse, could it?
Very true.
It's, there's nothing. There's just nothing about that that's saying, oh. But then it's the weird. There's just Nintendo's weirdness, and then like 10 minutes after it, it's like, oh look, there's now a Pokemon ZA Switch 2 bundle that's available for $429.99 that you can now pre-order. I'm like, well, why is that no in there? Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's
so bizarre,
so daft.
It's,
but it also seems like that Pokemon ZA bundle is going to be like ridiculously successful. Like,
I mean, it's Pokemon.
It's Pokemon. Like, you know, it's.
It doesn't need my ire or judgment, but I'd put it this way: I should have been watching that. I bought Scarlet for my son because he was into Pokemon, and it's still something he plays today and enjoys. And I was watching that, looking at Pokemon ZA, and it's like, nah, like there's nothing in there that I'm even excited to kind of bring my son in. So I'm like, it's literally the same thing, albeit with a little bit more mood lighting. And I know it's not made necessarily for us, I would say. It is, you know, kind of baby's first RPG almost. But there's something about it. Every time they kind of go further and further, they get further away from what you want. And the worst part is, it's happened so many times now, it's like, I don't even know if I want it anymore. Like, that's the problem. Like, I'll enjoy Pokemon in other formats, but the big, meaty, like, mainline titles, it's probably like, just if they keep doing this, I don't think I'll be going back to one anytime soon. And, you know, Scarlet still left a bad taste in my mouth because it ran like absolute dog meat. I know it runs better on Switch too, but I'm just kind of like, I can't be bothered now. Like, it was such a weird thing. And there was a couple of cool things, like the Aardman show from Pokemon. Cool. That looked pretty cool, didn't it? And even like Pokemon Concierge, the second series, I'm like, yeah, like there's something I stick on for the Wii Man, so it's like we can put that on again. Even my daughter would like it as well.
If you weren't interested, was it Pokemon Friends or something like that they called it?
And until you went and looked at it and like, oh, that's nice, a nice wee app that you can just play with, and then you're going, oh, you can do one thing a day, and then you can buy the game for $9.99, and then you can buy the puzzle packs for $14.99 each, or you can pay $7.99 on the Switch, or you can get the pack for $33.99, or you can pay $7.99 and £25 for the puzzle packs, which is less than buying the whole thing together, and you're like,
I'll tell you the numbers, man.
I mean, it looked like a cool little game. Like, I quite like a little thing like that. But then I'm like, well, I'm not going to sit and do it once a day. And I'm not paying £10 for it on my phone because I just don't play games on my phone. It's just something I've never really done. So if I would buy it on the Switch. And I'm like, well, I'm not buying it on the Switch for that price. Like,
yeah,
no chance.
I actually thought it was free, and
I
watched the Pokemon Presents with my son, and I was like, go get the Switch. And then afterwards we went to download it, and I seen that $7.99. I was like, nope. Like, absolutely not. And I didn't learn all that stuff till today in the car. I was listening to another podcast. I was like, are you for real? Like, totally nickel and diming you? That looked to me like it was pure free to play fodder, if I'm honest. Surprised it wasn't, you know, just like with microtransactions and stuff. But yeah, it wasn't good, man. It's not one I'd say you go back and rewatch it. I wouldn't probably recommend that anyway. So just you could read about it, but yeah, I don't know. Like,
unless you want to go to the Pokemon Park or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that wasn't what I had in my head for a Pokemon Park. I thought there'd be like Universal Studios or something, and there's some kind of cool ride or some type of Pokemon Snap type experience, and it's like, nah, it's just like a walk around the park with some Pokemon statues. I could probably do the same thing at Blair Drummond Safari Park with a Pikachu statue, to be fair. You know what I mean? So it wasn't great, but it was an odd one, Scott.
Just to ask, I'm never going to go back and watch it. Do you know what I mean? But I just wanted to get the whistle stop tour of how terrible it was.
Yeah, it wasn't a vintage moment for the old Pokemon brand, but
when is it though? When was the last time Pokemon really sincerely had a proper win?
About 1998 or something.
Pokemon peaked with yellow.
Trading card game Pocket, a big moment for
I mean, true.
Pokemon Go.
But then they what is it? They flew too close, like Icarus. They flew too close to the sun with the TCG Pocket stuff. Like they got too greedy too quick.
Yeah, it's a bit like me last year selling my Pokemon card collection. Just like,
I mean, the PS5
do it
Pro
all
needed to
again.
pay for it though, didn't it? Like, you
it's
had
true.
to pay for that.
It's true. I'm going to be forging Pokemon cards next time just to pay for the PS6, which will no doubt be £3,000 in today's economy. Speaking of big prices, though, before we started recording today, you would have seen the news about Xbox dropping the price from The Outer Worlds 2. They were going to go to $80 this winter, and they've decided to go back to $70. Now, is this kind of a rethink, or is it going to be just something to curry favour with punters before the hammer drops next year after what's been a pretty bad 6 weeks for Xbox?
I don't really know how to take it. There's part of me that thinks that maybe there weren't, the pre-orders weren't doing great, so drop the price and get people in with a smart piece of marketing based on Outer Worlds patter. Do you know what I mean? Like, but also it's Xbox. Do you know what I mean? So when have they ever made a decent decision in their lives? I don't even know how to take it, and to be honest with you, I don't care because I'm going to play it on Game Pass, so it doesn't really matter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the proof will be in the pudding in terms of the future games and stuff that they have. Like, how can you then say like, oh, well, we're going to make you pay this for this, but now we've just decided that you're going to pay that for it? It's like, well, we shouldn't even be paying that in the first place. Do you know what I mean? It just makes this price seem better now. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
I'd like to understand what market conditions have changed to make it reflect current market conditions. Because
I mean, I'm sure laying off 100 people in your workfor's costs come down, so you've got a bit more money to throw away.
Yeah, times that by 900 and you're there. It's a very good point, though, Alex. Like, it's total bullshit. Like, big, scary, invisible monster patter. That kind of whole conditions and economy and all that. And it's like, don't be a shite bag. Just admit you're a greedy bastard and you're wanting to get more money.
And I have to stare at all that stuff, all that shite all day. I'm a bit like, nah, I can see right through that one, pal.
Exactly. Bottom lining and all that. But it's maybe I'm just clutching at straws because there's part of me that's kind of like, if only maybe we're turning a corner. Then the kind of semi-acceptable times are back when it comes to game prices. But it looks like we're going down.
Maybe
that
they
path
expected PlayStation to do it as well, and then because they didn't come along and do it with Yoti and stuff, then they're a bit like, maybe
is
we need
Yoti
to
actually decently priced?
Yeah, well,
I haven't heard anything to say it's not, so I said so.
Because that was the chat a few months back when we were talking about it. Liam was saying wait till PlayStation announce how much you're paying for Yoti and stuff like that as well, but I've not heard anything since. So
I mean, it's a smart move considering the sentiment, and I think Sony, they need to be very careful because it's now taken hold, this kind of whole, like, the PS5 generation's been a bit rough, not great, okay, all things in between, and them putting their games up to £80 would not be a wise move, to say the least. But I think they're looking at it like they're still, second. I'd say, like, Nintendo's still market leader, you would argue. And they're like, you know what, things are going good, we need to just slowly be quiet in the background since Jim Ryan's left, rebuild things after. Pretty much since Concord fell apart last year, it feels like they've been very quiet and just trying to build things back up again, a sense of momentum. But you know what it's like, you're only just one dodgy decision away from hell's bells, and I wouldn't put it past them. I wouldn't put it past them if they just dropped a PlayStation blog thing and it's like, starting in 2026, games will then be $79.99 and all that. So
and the first one is Fair Games.
Yeah. No. Aye, but it's I don't know, like, it's a strange old time we're living in. I do sit there and sweat sometimes thinking about it, because there was a time I was thinking I'm going to treat myself to that Ghost of Yoti special edition, then I realised that wouldn't be the wisest move because there's all these other games that's coming out. So you use your chips wisely, I suppose, at the end of the day. But who knows? I think we're in need of a hero when it comes to the gaming prices, but of course, speaking of which, I think it's time for us to move on to our main topic this week. Now, as I said off the bat, it's something a little bit fun, a little bit goofy, I suppose, a little bit comic, mad, you could say. It is Fantastic Four First Steps week, gentlemen, so I thought let's just have some fun with that and theme it slightly and bring it back to gaming. So, we're going to be doing our gaming Fantastic Four this week. So, the premise is really simple. Each of us is going to go round and choose the 4 games that define us based around the heroes and what they represent. What games make your Fab Four in the end? So, for our listeners, it's very simple. Here's how we're breaking this down. So we've kind of got our Mr. Fantastic type game, which is a game that shapes how you think about games. There's Invisible Woman, which is an underrated gem game that people overlook. There's our Human Torch pick, which is a game that's pure fun, adrenaline or chaos. And then there's the Thing pick, which is the game that's tough, dependable, classic and stood the test of time. And we're just going to recap at the end what our Fab Four in the end looks like. But I think we'll go around one at a time. And we'll start with the Mr. Fantastic picks. Alex, being a honourable guest, would you care to kick things off?
I mean, I feel like I kind of had 2 for this, but I think there really only is one. Because no matter how many times I talk about me and my gaming background, there's one game that comes up all the time, and it's the absolute classic one, and that's Tetris.
Oh, nice, yeah.
I mean, and that game has shaped me for all the puzzle games and everything that I still love. Like, my most anticipated game for the rest of the year is Luminous Arise. Like, that's just where I'm at. So it had to be Tetris.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with Tetris. I'm not going to argue with anything, to be fair, but yeah, game that makes you think definitely does. Scott, who's your Mr. Fantastic in this?
Mr. Fantastic. I mean, it could only have been one man. And then, I mean, it's not going to shock anyone who listens to this podcast. But when we talk about games that shape how a man thinks, how he grows up, especially in the 90s, Liam, there was only one man that was servicing a young Scott Curry, and that man was Richard Branson. No, it wasn't. He didn't even make Cool Spot. No, that man was a younger Hideo Kojima, and the game that shaped how I think about games to this day is 1998's Metal Gear Solid.
Okay.
Now, I don't need to lecture everyone on this, but this was just an opportunity to talk about this to Alex again.
I've seen this going.
Games, you know, it's like a tasty meal. You know, food tastes better after you've had it. Metal Gear Solid was. I don't know how I had written this down in a different way. Yeah, it does. No, games didn't feel quite like Metal Gear Solid before you played them, and games didn't feel the same afterwards. It proved that there was more to a video game than jumping, running somewhere to a goal, and that was it. It wasn't just the game, it was the story, the journey that you make, the relationships that you build. But it wasn't only that, it was so mature for the story that it was telling on the PlayStation 1, for fuck's sake. And it covered things like war, nuclear war. It talked about, you know, relationships between family members, not those kind of relationships though. And, you know, it was just, even to this day, we still talk about it as a ridiculous feat for the 1990s. And it could only have been Metal Gear Solid for me, to be honest. This was the game that made Scott Curry the man he is right now. Which, come on now.
No wonder we don't like Kojima.
Got a lot to answer for. I was trying my best not to turn what you said ridiculous feet and Hideo Kojima in the same sentence.
I mean, it's true. It is true, though.
No, that's fair enough. It's your pick. It's your pick, so that gets you a Mr. Fantastic slot. I mean, for mine, a game that makes you think, for me, I've picked a game, I might have spoken about it before, this specific moment, but it's The Last of Us Part 2 for me. Just that moment as Abby walking through the militia camp and you're kind of seeing the bodies and hearing about the destruction.
Spoilers.
And that.
I thought you were actually joking there.
No, genuinely. It just makes you face and reflect on your actions as yourself, but as the player. I thought it was very poignant and it added a gravity to what is kind of taken for granted playing games, which is kind of the scale and the senseless violence. It's something that you just kind of go through without really thinking about it. Like, actually, this is slightly genocidal. The amount of people that I've went through, and it did make me think and question my enjoyment, through this amazing but very subtle storytelling and interaction. And I think the game has lots of wee moments like that, but that one in particular jumps out for me as one that makes me think.
Walking through that, just talking about it, because I've played it recently, but walking through that whole section is that you actually realise that you're seeing the effects of what you have been doing. It's like, I can't remember a video game having done that before, where you actively play the part of the other side as well. Like, it's incredible kind of how it plays out. I know people like to shout on The Last of Us Part 2, but it's fucking brilliant, man.
Yeah, they've got as much people hating on it as they do love it, and I'll be in the love it side. But so that's the Mr. Fantastic picks out the road. Pretty good ones all round, gentlemen. So this is going to get more tasty, and I'm kind of petrified that Scott might be doing a bit as well as we go on, but we shall learn as we continue. So up next is the Invisible Woman picks, which is underrated gem that people overlook. Alex, what did you have for this pick?
See, I've picked a game, and it's one I only played in the last couple of years, but it's one that I think people don't even... I think it's underrated in the gem, and that people don't even know about it for the fact it's stuck on Steam and it's never made it to a console. And that's Mini Shoot Adventures, and you probably never heard of it. It's probably the best Zelda-like game of like classic Zelda in the last few years. But you are a little yellow spaceship, and you're going around basically this little. It's a Zelda adventure as a little spaceship, and all the sound design, the art design, the gameplay is fantastic. I think it was really highly rated at the time, but people just don't know about it. And it's fantastic. It's just so good.
That is
so good.
That is a tremendous pick. Yeah, one that does what it says in the tin. We've overlooked it. I hadn't even heard of it, but it's one that we'll have to go.
Just
try
looking
and
at
check
it,
out.
it looks pretty cool.
It's still PC
just one
only.
of those. It's an absolute crime that it's never made it to console.
Oh man, maybe we could start campaigning for it. Bring it to console so I can check it out.
I think it's because people are so disgusted by the random apostrophe in its name.
Right.
I mean, it's pretty egregious, to be honest with you. I was wondering whether or not it was like fan made, but that is pretty annoying.
Yeah. But aye.
No, that's a good pick though, man. So that's your Invisible Woman pick. Scott, what have you got for yours, dare I ask? But,
I mean, let's talk about Invisible Women and Invisible Women in games. And there's an Invisible Woman in a certain Metal Gear Solid game.
For fuck's sake.
No, I'm not picking a Metal Gear Solid game for underrated games, because there's none of them are underrated.
I thought all women were invisible in Kojima games.
Apparently not. I mean, go and play one of them and you'll find out.
Here's the opposite problem.
Olga Galukovic, Invisible Metal Gear Solid 2. There's a wee bit of trivia for you, but no. My underrated gem is a bit of a cheat. I decided to take a note out of the Liam playbook in the old Pixel Picks department.
Right.
This game that I'm picking here, it completely goes against everything that you would define as underrated. It was commercially successful, and it was critically successful and widely regarded in that as well. However, it gets lost in the shuffle when we talk about other games from the same company. The company that I'm talking about is From Software.
Right.
And the game is Dark Souls 3.
Right, okay.
Now, I could have easily went with Dark Souls 2 here. If we're being honest, I feel like that's probably the most underrated in the entire series. But when we look at the lineage and history of From Software, you have the reverence that people have for Dark Souls 1. You have, the feral cult-like love that people have for Bloodborne. And also the widespread appreciation for Elden Ring as being, one of the greatest of all time. But Dark Souls 3 doesn't really get that look in, and I would argue that it is the stepping stone to where we get an Elden Ring. Do you know what I mean? Like, it blended together parts of all Dark Souls that we had so far, but also Bloodborne in terms of, speeding up that combat and everything as well. Liam can attest to the point where this was my jumping on point for the Dark Souls series. I'd tried 1 and 2, but Dark Souls 3 was the game that fucking bit me in the arse and never let go. And it just had everything, you know. Like, I feel like it was the point where you started to see the step up on bosses, the phase bosses, where you would fight the Nameless King to begin with on his fucking massive dragon, and then you would beat him in his first phase, and then he would jump off and absolutely tank you in 2 hits. It was a brutal, man. Kind of bosses like Dancer of the Boreal Valley and Pontiff Sullivan, where you were parrying everything he threw at you, and it was fucking brilliant. It's just, I just don't think it sometimes gets the love that it deserves from the community. Now, that might just be me thinking this, because people fucking love Dark Souls 3, but it just feels like it gets lost in that shuffle from all the other games that From Software have done. But somebody needs to just pull that aside and say, you know what, you're our favourite child. Do you know what I mean? Like, we still love your other siblings, but you're our favourite.
Fair enough. Yeah, nothing like about sibling favouritism. Alex, I can't recall. Are you a Dark Souls fan?
No.
I
played Elden Ring's my only FromSoft game, and that was only through circumstance that I ended up playing Elden Ring, and never again.
Fair enough.
Dark Souls is fucking phenomenal. Like, it's so good.
Yeah, I mean, I can see where you're coming from. Like, for me, that was a jumping on point for myself in the series. Like, I played 2, I was like, nope. Went back to play 2 and enjoyed it more. Scholar of the First Sin, but yeah, 3 was just like, after playing Bloodborne, I understood 3 a lot more, which definitely helped. And yeah, it's a fucking solid ass game in more ways than one. But yeah, I'll go on with my Invisible Woman pick for you. Underrated gem people overlook. For me, it's such a charming little game for me, which is none other than Immortals Phoenix Rising. You know, I feel like that was unfairly written off as just simply a Breath of the Wild clone, even an Assassin's Creed clone. But if you played it and you know it's just a wonderful adventure, then it's filled with, you know, some pretty fantastic puzzles, some good humour in there, and some good style, made by the guys at Ubisoft Quebec. So it's the same ones behind Assassin's Creed Odyssey and more recently Assassin's Creed Shadows. You know, there's a lot of pedigree and love in that game, and I feel it's definitely overlooked, but they cooked. You know, I think it's one I'll always champion if you want a charming open adventure. Definitely, it's always in sale. I think you can't go wrong with it, man. It's a good time.
It's a good little game.
Yeah.
Went on a wee bit too long, but good little game.
Yeah. It's not perfect, but yes, it's overlooked for sure. So that's the kind of one that people overlook. So we've got our Invisible Woman picks. So now, gentlemen, we'll move on to the Human Torch picks. This one should be good, spicy, should be hot because it's Human Torch. Get it? That's it. So it's a game that's pure fun, adrenaline, and or chaos. So Alex, you want to kick things off with that one with your Human Torch pick?
I had a few written down for this, but I think for me, I almost went the comfort route for this one. It's like, and that's your Forza Horizon 5, because I mean it can be chaotic. It's pure fun. There's always something to do. Plenty to see. I mean, it's best-selling game in PS5 this year.
True. 3 million copies.
Yeah, I just love it. I've spent so many hours in Forza Horizon 5 and I always enjoy it, particularly if you've got a few of you playing it together and like the absolute shithousery of taking people out in the last corner and stuff. Like, it's just fun. What fun.
Yeah, it's a tremendously fun time, that game. I've urged Scott to give a go. So Game Pass, man, just gotta give it a go. It's so much fun.
It means I need to, taint my eyes with driving games.
It's more than that. It's more than
it's
that.
not a simulator. There's no simulator in it.
Nah, driving pish. No, I'm only kidding on. I've got it. It's downloaded upstairs. I just have other things that I want to play.
It's one of the best looking games you could play as well. It's absolutely stunning.
100%. Aye, it's one on the list, and I'll get to it when the next Forza comes out, and then go for there. If it comes out,
Never know the
They
Xbox.
just said it's coming next year.
Well, they said that about every other Xbox game, Perfect Dark and all that as well. Like,
Its corpse is not even cold. We do not mention its name.
They'll do it today anyway.
That's a tough one, Alex. That's a tough one. Scott, what's your Human Torch pick?
my Human Torch denied a bank loan. There was a few for this on me with me, to be honest with you. If we were continuing on the bit that I have for this episode, and that if you were looking for a fun, chaotic and adrenaline-filled game made within the Metal Gear Solid universe, you could do no wrong with playing Metal Gear Solid Rising Revengeance, which is a fucking phenomenal pick that I've only just thought about because of this stupid joke. But when I was actually making my picks for this, it was pretty straightforward, to be honest with you. I tried to look at all three. It says, what game can I play that has fun, that is adrenaline filled, and has that fucking chaotic energy that only video games can give you? And there was one game that really did stick out, and that game was Sifu.
Okay.
It is packed with adrenaline filled moments. You are playing, the video game version of The Raid. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just non-stop. You're one death away from losing precious years of your life and becoming a gloriously beautiful old man, where you can't use some of your abilities and stuff. Despite the pain that losing a run to that can give, it is ridiculously fun. The combat itself is so chaotic when you're surrounded by 4 million people all at once, and you're flicking up bottles to hit them in the face, you're throwing bats and stuff at them, you're just scudding them with punches left, right, you're kicking people on the floor and jumping on top of them and knocking them out. It is ridiculous. And you see that wee counter on the right hand side go up and up and up, and my god, is there nothing more fun than seeing those numbers rise, unless you're playing Borderlands, and then let's have a different conversation. But it's the mastery of it all. Like, you can see the chaos happening around you, but the mastery of it when you can parry someone launching a punch at you and just take them out in one hit, that is ridiculous. And it was really the only game that I wanted to pick for this, because Sifu is fucking phenomenal. Like, it's one of those games where I always want to go back and play it, and then the thought of going back to play it and losing my life to it again, I just don't have that time and the energy in me. So I just wanted to show it some love.
Yeah, good shout though. Good shout. I can appreciate that. For mine, my Human Torch pick is straightforward for me. It's Rocket League. I think it's one that is just pure fun, adrenaline and chaos. It has to be done. He shakes his head in disgust.
Oh god.
It has to be,
Sacrilege.
man. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's just, it was either that or Doom Eternal. But I thought, actually, if I look at the amount of hours I've put into Rocket League, and it is just complete unexpectedness, yeah, it's that all over. It's the game that Rematch wishes it was. So yeah,
I like Rematch. Don't like Rocket League.
Enjoy. Rematch is all right, to be fair. It's just, it depends on. It's a bit like if you were to turn up to the pits to play football, and you were in a team full of absolute roasters. It's all going to come down to that. If you played Rematch with other people that you were actually communicating with, it'd be very good. And it's the same with Rocket League. Like, it's not something I would go on myself and play. Absolutely not. But some of the nights, as Scott will tell you, just playing Rematch with our good compadre, Mr. Moucher, who's out there. He's dearly missed. I hope he's listening. But yeah, there was just some of the most chaotic and hilarious nights, like crying with laughter at points. And some of the stupid things that you would do in that game.
It's the verbal, not even the verbal abuse, but the written abuse that you would give to people over that chat as well. Like, we had bits, Alex, in that game where if it got to like 4 or 5-0, it was just ridiculous. Like, some of the stuff you were saying to people was just outrageous.
That's disgusting.
It was a Shrek. No, it wasn't even what you thought. It was basically Scott just telling people Shrek quotes in Spanish for some strange reason. And I've never seen a man type Spanish that doesn't speak Spanish so fast in my life. So, yeah. Shit, was it? Ogres are not like onions.
Ogres are not like cakes.
Oh, not like cakes, that's it, yeah.
Ogros no son como los pasteles. Speaking of layers, there you go. That ties it all together with fucking Bananza as well.
Indeed. Well, I suppose, moving on swiftly, we've got our last pick of the Fantastic Four here, gentlemen. So it is the Thing pick, which is a game that's tough, dependable, and stood the test of time. So, Alex, what is your Thing pick?
See, I stuck to the puzzle route here.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of my favourite games, and it stands the test of time. It is quite tough, it's funny, and it's Portal 2.
Oh, nice. Okay, great shout.
Like, I played it again last year, and it's just, there's nothing quite like it. Like, there's nothing that's been able to come and do it better. There's so many have tried. The writing in it is fantastic. The performances in it is fantastic. The puzzles are fantastic. I don't know how many times I've said fantastic in this episode. But
some of the themes.
At least 4.
Yeah. I've heard so many jokes about those Fantastic Four skins this week, but that's just that's been funny. But,
always makes me laugh though. Can't help it.
But, I just think Portal 2 is like as close to perfection for a puzzle game as you can get.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Great shout. And Scott, this is, I don't know how you're going to fit in Hideo Kojima into this one, but what is your Thing pick?
I mean, we could somehow fit him in here, but no. Let's just move on. We've spoken about this game a great deal on the show, to be honest with you. If you were to look up the definition of classic dependable video games in this imaginary dictionary that I've just made up, then there's a picture next to it. The picture is of Super Mario Bros. 3. As good today as it was when it was released.
100%.
The fingerprints of Super Mario Bros. 3 can be felt everywhere. You know, its fingers are in all the pies. Every single pie that's ever existed, there's a wee bit of Mario Bros. 3 in there. I'm particularly high on this game at the moment after watching, I want to say Shikubi at Summer Games Done Quick, done a run on it. And I've just been aching to play it since. He does like an all fortresses run, and it's ridiculous how good it is. Just the P speeds and stuff like that, and all the different tactics and things. You're like, you know what, I could speedrun this game. And then you go and watch a Summoning Salt video on how they actually speedrun these games, and it's like, no, you couldn't, mate. Like, you really couldn't. But just testament to, standing the test of time. I mean, we still talk about it to this day with this reverence and, cult following that Super Mario Bros. 3 gives. And the fact that, I could play it in 10 minutes and still enjoy it the same way that I enjoyed it back in the 90s when I was playing it is just ridiculous how good that game was. And that's just the definition of dependable, isn't it? Like, it's a game that's always there.
It'll be there for you. So my Thing pick, bringing it full circle almost, but it's actually probably my favourite game of all time. For me, that a game that's tough, or can be tough, but it's very dependable and stood the test of time, and they bring it full circle. It's Tetris. I mean, I don't think I need to say much more than that, to be fair. It's Tetris. It's always there for you, no matter what form it's in. It will always stand the test of time, and whether you want to play it just for a little few minutes or if you're really in the mood for a challenge, it has it all. It's just something that will just never not be entertaining. You put any form of Tetris in anybody's hand, and you're not seeing them for a bit. That's just that one more go, that addictive quality to it. Yeah, it's just easily favourite game of all time, and it has to be the Thing because it's the heart and soul of the team, and it's also the heart of my video game lineage, I suppose. So yeah, it has to go to Tetris. But yeah, that's that one for me, gents. I quite enjoyed that. It was one at the start of this week I was thinking, is this going to work? Because very, very excited about Fantastic Four, but actually it's going through it all and hearing everybody's picks in their own Fab Four. So Alex, just to give us a recap, what was your gaming Fantastic Four then?
So my Mr. Fantastic was Tetris, My Invisible Woman's Miniature Adventures, Human Torch, Forza Horizon 5, and the Thing is Portal 2.
Awesome. And Scott, what was yours again?
Hideo Kojima was all 4 of them. Mr. Fantastic was Metal Gear Solid, the first one. Invisible Woman was Dark Souls 3, which is a bit of a strange sentence to say out loud. The Human Torch is Sifu, and then the Thing is Super Mario Brothers 3.
Awesome. And for myself, my Mr. Fantastic was The Last of Us Part 2. Invisible Woman was Immortals Phoenix Rising. For my Human Torch, it was Rocket League, and The Thing, capping it all off, was Tetris. But yeah, I've been intrigued to hear if anybody has their own Fantastic Four picks, just leave them in the comments below. That's that new bit of YouTube patter for you this week. We've got to try and work that in wherever we can. But yeah, I think we should then move on. Speaking of picks, then it does mean that it's time for the Pixel Picks Showdown, where each week we each pick a game from our chosen theme and decide which one deserves to live on in the hallowed Pixel Picks list, which is our definitive list of the best games we recommend and pass on to the next generation of gamers. Now, last week's theme was Best GameCube Game, with the absolutely correct Metroid Prime becoming the latest addition to that list. That's right, gentlemen, I got my way. And in this week's showdown...
fucking outrageous. Still outrageous. Took advantage of my technical issues, Alex, and fucking stole
I
it.
just did it.
Stole it.
It's a coup.
It is, but I've got to go for it, man. I'm going for the juggler, going for the
I'm
W.
gonna, what is it, storm the Capitol building and demand a recount on this.
For God's
Disgusting.
sake. Oh, man. I don't even know what to say. I'm going to
Open
move
the
on
Epstein
swiftly.
files. Open it.
I'm going to get fucking Stephen Colbert cancelled. You keep doing this. So
He
yeah,
already is. He already is.
in this week's showdown, we are debating what best remake game we think should feature on the Pixel Picks list. Now, before we get started, I should add as well that the last time, Alex, you joined us, you actually gave us a winning pick. So can you keep that form going? I believe, in fact, was it the last time or was it the time
I think
before
it was
that?
the last time, yeah.
Balatro, was it
It's
not?
in fact, you're on a streak. 2 times in a row, you've picked a winner.
Oh,
So yes, can you keep it going? You had
Probably not.
Balatro in the card game last time, sir. So let's see. Do you want to? Who wants to go first this week with an honourable mention and pick for best remake game?
I'll go first if you want.
Go for it.
I'll set us off just because I'm still angry about Super Mario Sunshine. So, honourable mentions for this week is actually a game that's already on the list. There's really only 2 remakes that exist in the world that I care about, and that's the reason why they're my picks for this week. So, the first one, honourable mention, is Resident Evil 2 Remake. Quite possibly the best remake ever made, to be honest with you. And if it wasn't already on the list, it would be my choice for this week. The actual pick, though, a great remake. Let me just wax lyrical for a moment here. A great remake not only respects the core game, but gives it modern sensibilities. It doesn't just look pretty, but if we're talking about food, it adds a special sauce on top that heightens the overall dish. But you can still taste that original flavour in there, you know. Something still tasty in that dish there. And I'm not just talking about food because I'm absolutely fucking starving. It's there. Stick with me. But my choice for this week is actually another Resident Evil game, and it is Resident Evil 4 Remake.
Okay.
Sort of more modern remake, but it retains the original structure and set pieces that the original already had. But it has better tone, better pacing, and improves every single piece of combat in that game substantially. Like, if you've played the original Resident Evil 4, it is a fucking pain in the arse to play, and I'll fist fight every single person that wants to, kind of disagree with me on that. I don't really. I'm terrible at fighting. However, Donkey Kong, Capcom are the absolute kings of remakes at the moment. If you ignore Resident Evil 3, but they're able to take a game so beloved as the Resident Evil 4 and also remake that game, and without it, it didn't die a hilarious massive death, which is just a feat unto itself. It's ridiculous. So the fact that we now have modern Leon Kennedy, how could I not pick it? How could I not have done it?
Fair enough. Yeah, that's a very. You're sticking with the themes again, Scott, and the picks, but I appreciate it. Good picks, though. Good, solid picks. Alex, I'm going to invite you and see what your honourable mention and pick is for this one, dear sir.
Well, I kind of struggle with this one a wee bit because I've not played, like, of all the big remakes, like your Final Fantasy push and all that. Like, I've not played them. Like, so But for my, and I was a wee bit, I don't know which one of these that I wanted as my honourable mention and which one is my pick, because I really don't want to pick the same one as Scott, but I think I'm going to need to. But my honourable mention was Spyro.
Right, okay, yeah.
Spyro Reignited?
Reignited, yeah.
I mean, it's such a nice, like, Toys for Bob knows what they're doing with that and the Crash and Sane trilogy and stuff. Very, very good games, true to their heart and just lovely. But Resident Evil 4, and I came at probably from a different perspective, because I came at this from the VR perspective, because they obviously they came along, they remade that game, and the flat game was excellent, but the VR game was also excellent and probably is still one of the best games on PSVR 2. And I think, as you said, it's got like Capcom know what they're doing when they remake a game, and Capcom basically can't do no wrong about it at the minute. Like, everything they touch almost turns to gold. Like, I even
fucking Pragmata, like a game that makes absolutely no sense. I'm with you, man.
Okay, well, I think already by the process of elimination we know what the winner is this week, but in the interest of formalities I will give you my honourable mention and my pick, gents. So my honourable mention this week, again, I was thinking there's quite a lot of ones that either we've talked about beforehand or I just don't really know, because Final Fantasy VII Remake did come out in my head, but I was like, that's almost a game within itself as opposed to a strict remake, so I thought that could be argued away. So my honourable mention this week is actually Pokemon, Heart Gold and Heart Silver. Just very, very faithful remakes of the original classics with just lots of quality of life features dumped in there as well. And of course, you've got Johto, you've got Kanto, plus a little bit of bonus content in there. It looks better, it plays better. Widely considered by many, including myself, as the best Pokemon games ever made. So I had to give it a shout out here because I did actually own it, pristine version of Heart Gold in the box with the little Pokestep counter, but I punted it. And I still regret it to this day, but I got a very good price for that. A very, very good price. But that was pre-Series X, and I think I was on a selling frenzy, and I just sold everything, bar the shoes that I was wearing that day. But it worked out in the end. But my pick this week was actually none other than The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening on Switch. There's something about that diorama style that they introduced, and I feel it's just such a beautiful remake of the Game Boy Classic. I think perfect for a new generation as well, in keeping with the theme for the Pixel Picks list. But I don't think I can't. There's 2 against 1. I can't win that fight. My snide tactics just aren't going to work this week.
I have picked that up to play it, so it's one of I was famously a non-Nintendo person for a wee while. I was just really playing the heel. But since the Switch 2 has come along, I've gone so far the other way. I'm almost at risk of divorce with the number of games I've bought off of Vinted. It's just what the fuck are you buying now? But so that's in one of the pile that is over there.
Nice.
So all that pile up there is basically everything I bought off Vinted.
That's what I say. Actually, just this kind of glow of red. I love that. I mean, you're not going to be disappointed. I mean, I'm almost jealous you've got all that in front of you, and it does play better on Switch 2.
The best way to play it in it now.
Yeah.
All these games, I went back and I played Echoes of Wisdom when I got my Switch 2, and even just those little quality of life enhancements that you had just made it all the more of an enjoyable experience, and it pops a lot more, even when you're playing handheld and stuff. So Link's Awakening, it's such a good game, but I think the winner is clear, and a massive congratulations then, I'm sure we're all in agreement, to Resident Evil 4, who becomes the latest addition to the Pixel Picks list under our best remake category, which is actually not an easy one to win, so fair play to it. Fair play. Will I go back and play it? Who knows, maybe when it's in sale, because Resident Evil is actually one of the few horror games that I've actually enjoyed, but I've not played the remake.
Play it in VR. It's very good in VR.
Don't tempt me. every time that PSVR 2 goes on sale, it's always after the point where I've got a little bit of extra folding. And then it's just, so I realised like I'd got a pizza oven for the house like last month, and I'm like, I bet the PSVR 2 is about to go on sale. Because it's always at that time. So yeah, I have no luck with it, but who knows. But Scott's kindly offered me Resident Evil 4, so I'll take that from you. And I'll run.
I'll give you that at the same time as I give you Silent Hill 2.
Oh, yeah, watch me play that. Yeah, I might have to do a charity stream. You can watch a grown man cry and shite himself on stream. So,
I mean, people will pay for that.
They probably will, yeah. It's a sick world we live in. But on that note, gentlemen, it has been a pleasure, but that brings us to the end of this week's podcast. So thank you once again for joining us, and remember to support small independent games media out there. So if you like what you hear and enjoy the podcast, just please share on social media and tell your friends about us, or even leave a wee 5-star review. It all helps us out and makes a huge difference. Now it's test time for us both here, guys. So Alex, where can our listeners find you if they want to engage with you? And of course, the Mimics Veil.
Largely on Blue Sky, so you get ssalex984.bsky.social and the mimicsveil.bsky.social, and Mimics Veil in any of your podcast apps of choice. Just search for the Mimics Veil and you'll find the three of us pretending to be in a pub talking shit.
Sounds great. Look forward to the next episode. And Scott, where can our listeners find you online if they want to talk about Hideo Kojima and feet?
I mean, I'm here for it. Find me at lamaman.bsky.social. I'm probably going to go on a dump of every single thing that I've taken pictures of in Death Stranding 2 very soon, so look out for it, because that game is fucking ridiculous.
It is a looker. Maybe, Alex, I wasn't a believer with Death Stranding, but Death Stranding 2 has turned me into a believer, so there might be hope yet. We shall see.
Ben was talking about it last night when we were recording next week's Mimics Veil, so he started playing it, and I'm like, oh, no, come on. But we'll see. We'll see.
We'll influence you. Well, everybody go online and influence Alex to buy Death Stranding 2 instead of Switch games. We'll see if we can get them. If people want to engage myself online, you can find me at carmelite.bsky.social. I'll be there talking all things DK Bonanza, and very likely fantastic for the First Steps impressions by the time this podcast goes live. Is it good? We'll wait and see, but it has Pedro Pascal, so it can't be a bad time. So
that makes it a 5 out of 10 at least, doesn't it? Like, Pedro's like 5 points by himself.
No, that's true, yeah. But I'd say he's a 10 out of 10 person. But anyway, I'm getting distracted talking all the Pedro love. But a massive thank you to our producer and music man, the talented and handsome Mr. Sean Murray. So please go show him some love and check out his work on Instagram at barehandsdesigns and barehandsdesigns.com. And a special shout out, if you've watched the video version of this podcast, those really cool animations, all hand done by that man himself. He's a very talented and very loved individual. So thank you, Sean, for all that you do. And of course, you can listen to the next episode on all major podcast platforms, and follow us on Blue Sky at pixelparents.bsky.social, and of course write to us at pixelparentspodcast@gmail.com. But until next time, stay safe, stay sane, and thanks for listening.
Justice for Hideo Kojima. Justice.
Jesus Christ.